We're here talking the latest Lions news for you folks today in this lull period as we're getting closer to Detroit Lions Training Camp 2024. We're going to go to the latest Lions news, what it means for us as we get closer and closer towards the Lions season. Let's go. Folks, Lions Nation Night's going to be changing here very soon, and you're going to have content creators that is not me on here, but everybody else on there. Daily live streams. We're going to have daily shows on Lions Nation Night where Finnabout put a ton of work into this channel, so make sure you subscribe to it so you don't miss out on the epicness that is going to be taking place very, very soon. So let's get into the latest Detroit Lions news here, and I haven't read this article, so I'm curious to see what it says here, but it says Lions players who could be released before training camp. So let's get into this article at the same time. I generally don't read it. Just curious to see what players they think could be released before training camp, and about to get into the list right now. And look, you got kickers here between Badgley and James Turner. We just signed Jake Bates, and one of these individuals should you think would get released sooner, but look, they could take 3 kickers into training camp. They legitimately could, but obviously 2 of these guys is going to get released at some point, but I think they may stick with 3 actually in training camp, so this may be a little bit different. I may disagree on this one. I may disagree on this one a little bit because I think they could do 3. Next player they got here, Jericho Bruce's game. Who should it be? It's the backup quarterback position here. And it's talking about, obviously, Hendon Hooker and Nate Sudfeld is who is going to be an individual that gets released. It's not going to be Hendon Hooker. And I think this battle goes all the way into preseason, probably to preseason week 3. That's what it's going to be here. I do eventually think Hendon Hooker is going to be the guy, but there is a little bit of a competition right now, QB3. I see zero chance that the Lions release Hendon Hooker, because he'd get picked up quickly. Number 3 here, let's get into where they have the next hope for the new next receiver's future. I don't really care too much a whole about individuals being released on this. Doesn't really make a sense. I think that St. Brown's going to do good. Why you think that they're signing Jake Bates? It's simple. They're signing him for competition. So I'm not even going to get into that. We just talked about it. How much are you looking forward to training camp? Quite a bit. I think we all are, to see the competition. So it didn't really talk about players that much being released. I say Jamar Jefferson could get released. Yeah, that'd be Donovan Knight or something. But, yeah, I'm not too worried about that one. What I do like here is that the Detroit Lions outdo the Green Bay Packers yet again. It is 3 years of us always one up in the Green Bay Packers, and I got to say, I love it. They were mad about the draft last year. They're mad about the draft this year, and they're mad about the Detroit Lions again getting a player they want. Green Bay losing to Brad Holmes. So Jake Bates is a Detroit Lion, and guess what? Green Bay failed again and again and again. You failed, and we love that. When the Green Bay Packers fail, we love it. Put hashtag FGB in the comment section. Show some love to that organization as we continue 24/7 outmaneuvering them, and they're going to be salty. It's starting a little bit of a rivalry in the front office with unnamed general manager, i.e. Green Bay Packers general manager, salty as a mug. And I love this little rivalry that's taken place in the front office because we just continue to win, and it's good. We do appreciate Green Bay's failure because they've been so good for so long, so it's really nice to see them losing to the Detroit Lions. So show some love to Brad Holmes in the comment section by continuing to outmaneuver the Packers. And that's just it. My article came here about PFF, Detroit Lions, too low in the starting lineup here. And it's talking about 6 offense with both offensive defense coming at 6. Too low. PFF starting lineups. It's just the same old stuff that we get here about how Lions players are generally disrespected. Now, look, you're talking 6 both ways. That's not the biggest disrespect. It's not. But the Detroit Lions do have a really good roster. I think they're one of the best rosters in football. I have them at number 1. All-around best rosters, talking about here how the biggest concern is the secondary. I don't think that's the concern at all. Honestly, Carlton Davis, Terran Arnold, and Meek, Brian Branch for the nickel there. Corners are good. Outside, inside, they're good. I'm not worried about it. They're talking about Jameson Williams trying for a breakout. I do agree with that. They're talking about they need a third option. Well, we're going to get that third option because you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Sam Laporta, you got obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. We got options at 3 that are not even receivers. So I think the Lions are really good. Yeah, could they do maybe an upgrade at wide receiver? Of course. There's nothing wrong with that, or an upgrade on the defensive line. But every team has holes. We don't have any holes. We're just talking about depth chart. So it's absolutely crazy how good this football team is, but it is a good football team. And I do think that the Detroit Lions should be ranked higher than 6. 1 or 2. In the comment section right now, when you look at the Detroit Lions roster, just from a roster perspective, where do you have them listed? Do you have them at 6? Do you have them at 32? Or do you, like me, 1 or 2? I think it's more 1 or 2. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this one. Let's get into this next one. Lions linebacker coach says Jack Campbell already at another level for his second season. And we've been hearing praise on Jack Campbell all offseason. Matter of fact, I just did an article today talking about now the competition at LB2, Jack Campbell versus Derek Barnes. Jack Campbell is getting better. And a lot of people didn't like taking linebacker at 18. I love Jack Campbell. I thought it was a great move. And you're gonna see the long-term solution at linebacker. Jack Campbell's outstanding. He's a good player. He's really good. I love what he did in college. I love what he did last year. He had some rookie mistakes, but he made some big-time plays in Kansas City game, knocking that ball down that should have been probably caught, but he jumped it, swatted it, perfect timing, and you see how he tackles, and he's never gives up. I do believe he's going to be on another level this year as well. I do, and I think he's going to get more playing time than Derek Barnes this year. And I think he's eventually the replacement to Alex Anzalone. He's the Mike. So you could see a situation where I think the Lions should keep Derek Barnes somehow in a contract extension and continue to still build the linebacking core. When Alex Anzalone's not here, you'd move Jack to middle, make him the Mike. Derek Barnes is still here. So you have pretty good combinations. You can always get more. You got Malcolm Rodriguez. So we love Alex Anzalone, but what if they don't want to bring him back after next year, right? He was on a 3-year deal. He's going to be here this year, next year. What if they don't want to? Well, you can always move Jack Campbell there. But anyways, look, I think that the Lions linebacking core is perfectly fine. I think it's probably one of the strengths of the whole team. The depth from starter to backup is not that big of a deal. It's really good. I mean, you're talking about Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, starters, they're good. Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, backups, they're good. They're a good team at linebacker, so don't worry about that. That's the one position I'm not worried about, unless you have a crazy amount of injuries or something like that. But they're pretty good right there. It's going to be fun to see how Jack Campbell does thrive. Article here talking about the Detroit Lions Thunder and Lightning running back duo takes the rightful place in rankings, and I haven't seen their ranking. I don't know what they have on here, but I have it as the number 1 running game in all of football. Here's the list that continues. I think that the Detroit Lions has got the number 1, and they said Montgomery and Gibbs is number 1, and it says Detroit Lions running back David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs also missed time with injuries in 23. Gibbs in the 12th overall pick out of Alabama missed 2 games the rookie season with a hamstring injury. Montgomery missed 3 games with thigh and rib injuries. However, Montgomery and Gibbs were good enough to individually have the Detroit Lions 4-1 in games without both. As a tandem, Montgomery and Gibbs were very terror in the NFL. Gibbs was a Pro Bowler, and 2, to provide to do it all. Playmaker, while rookie and more active in the passing game. And veteran counterpart Montgomery's perfect complement to the bruising high runner. And I agree. They're the best combination of 1 and 2. In the NFL. I have them as 1, but not just 1 and 2, but you want to go and throw in Sion Vaki and Craig Reynolds as theirs 3 and 4. I think the Lions got the best depth at running back in all of football. And it says here, went 4-1 without our starters. Craig Reynolds came in and did a phenomenal job. Guess what? Sion Vaki is battling with him right now. So the combination of 1 through 4 RB is absolutely amazing. Look, if Gibbs goes down for a period for a couple games and Montgomery goes down, not a lot of people are too worried. You got Craig Reynolds who can go in between the tackles. He can do it out of the backfield as well. Same with Sion Vaki. He's fast and he can pass catch. So you have 2 individuals that can replace one if there's an injury. And I do think that they can hold the fort down. Obviously, they're not as dynamic as our 1 and 2, but damn good 3 and 4. So the Lions' run game is awesome. Lions' run game is amazing. You pair it up with the best offensive line in football. And you not only got the best running, but you got the best offensive line in football. That's going to make these guys just thrive even more. Having these gigantic holes from these outstanding players is exactly the type of offense that Dan Campbell envisioned. A physical punch you in the mouth, but we can be aerial attack as well. It's just a great offense, great running game. Everything is good when it comes to the Detroit Lions in offense. And so I'm pretty excited for what they're going to be doing here, and I agree, it's number 1. Again, folks, we're going to be switching a lot of stuff here on Lions Nation Unite. Okay, we're going to have more content creators dropping content, and it's really going to explode. Herman Moore is going to be on at least twice a week. It's going to be epic when this thing takes off. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors. And with that said, folks, adios.